Hello guys, this is gonna be the Jojo Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Episode 6 review. Let me get my notes up about this. So, what we find out in this episode is Avicino's backstory, which is right at the beginning. A quick note: if you skip the opening for this part, man, like, are you even a true Jojo fan? Really? Though I think the opening is sick right now. Fire and Gold by Coda. I think it's already a classic, really, and it fits right in with the theme of everything as well, Golden One. Alright, by the way, let's get into it. So we find out about Apicino's background, or backstory as I say. So we find out he used to be a police officer and a cop, but when he was working as a cop in the city, he saw a lot of corruption, and then every time he arrested someone because they were doing a crime or something, they would just get out because of bail, because the gangsters have so much power in the city and influence. And then no one appreciated the cops at all, because every time he tried to do something, the people he was trying to save, they didn't even appreciate him at all. So he felt like it was kind of hopeless to be a police officer. So because of this, he started his perception of justice started to warp a bit, and he started taking bribes. So we see in this one scene, he takes a bribe from this gang member, I'm assuming, and then later on in the story, he's called to a robbery case. So him and his partner have to go check out for the robber, and then he kind of catches the robber trying to escape through the window. Just as he finds out it's that guy that he took a bribe from. And then this is the part where he's like put in this scenario where, like, if he lets him go, he's not doing his job, and it kind of goes against his own morals anyway. Or if he arrests him, he's gonna end up biting him in the butt, because he took a bribe from him. So in the end, he would it's kind of like, it's not really, kind of a lose-lose situation for him, really. But then as this is going on, he's like kind of persuades him to not shoot the gun at him. But then the robber's kind of a scummy guy anyway, and he tries to shoot Abacino, and then this is where his friend saves him. And we don't really get any information on his friend. We just know it's just a partner that he's working with. So his partner saves him, but in the process he ends up dying, which is kind of tragic, really. And then you see Abacino, that's like the breaking point for him, because he's like screaming no, and I think that's the point where he just that's the turning point for him, really. And then after that we see then we find out that he loses his job because of his actions. Because of his actions, he caused an innocent man's death. So he has to live with that guilt for the rest of his life. And we can see him, and then we just see him in like a little time skip where he's just drinking out in the streets. And then he's approached by Bujarati, and that's really the flashback, really. So I thought the flashback was pretty powerful, actually. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I quite like the narration style that David Productions do, with the whole dude explaining what's going on. I really like the way the story, the flashback is shown, really. I think Naruto could have learned a few things from that, really. Alright, then we go back into present day, and then we see Abacino. He uses his stand. Well, I don't know what it's called. So the subtitles say moody jazz, but I think it's called moody blues. That's what I keep hearing. So, like, as I predicted, it is like a sound-based music-ish kind of stand, which is alright, because it's kind of his character, like, that's built around music anyway. But I also like how it's quite a unique ability. I've not seen anything like that before. So his moody blues' ability is he can kind of rewind things. So he kind of rewinds 5 minutes ago, and then he tries to, he's kind of like a detective. Oh my goodness, this is pretty cool, actually. I just had an epiphany. So his ability kind of reflects on his past job as a police officer. It could have been so useful when he was a police officer, because then at the scene of a crime he could have just rewinded like 10 minutes ago to see what happened, and he could figure out things and find clues. So we kind of get like a detective-esque kind of like sequence. So what he does is he rewinds 5 minutes onto his stand, and then he kind of goes through the clues. Oh my god, what's that guy's name? So bad with names right now. But we see what happens when the dude is playing with the his player. He's listening to music on his phone, and we see the whole reenactment again. And then this is where the thing we see someone stab him, and then he gets inflated. So at this point, we find out the enemy stand user's ability is the ability to inflate and deflate people, or objects even, just things in general. And then like that kind of gives us a clue, really. And then because of that, we start looking. They start looking for him, really. And then they kind of get onto a clue where they think he's in the pipes, and then they kind of look into the pipes, and they use sticky fingers to open the pipes. But this is the part where even I was confused. I was like, what's going on here? Because there was nothing in the pipes, which I assumed that the stand user was just hiding in the pipes. But then and then what happens next? And then even Abacino falls to the enemy stand user. And then like, but the way he does it is he kind of hurts himself, which was pretty clever of him. So like the blood kind of gives a hint about where the stand user is. And then it's kind of like a clutch moment for Bujarati, because it's Bujarati versus this enemy stand user, really. And then Bujarati kind of figures it out. So what he does, he just attacks the fish, the ship randomly, and kind of tries to sink it, right? And then as he's sinking it, the enemy stand user reveals himself. And then like even I was confused. I had to watch this twice. I think I'm just a bit stupid, but it turns out what the enemy stand did was he deflated another ship, then he coated the ship with another ship. So there's actually two ships, and he was hiding between the fin layer between the two ships and attacking. And that's why they couldn't find him in the pipes or anything, because he was hiding in the fin layers. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's so like elaborate and stuff. And then like this guy doesn't turn out to be that strong anyway. He kind of just gets wrecked by Bujarati anyway. So like these kind of stand users tend to be weak, which Giorno already pointed out. So and then it's just an easy clutch victory, really. And then so after he's beaten, the episode kind of ends anyway. So I want to see what happens next, really. So that's really what happens in episode 6, really. And then right at the end of this episode, like after the ending, it kind of skips back to the original backstory narration. So it continues on where it left off, which is, I thought was pretty cool. Where you see Bujarati like asking Abacino to join him. I thought this little sequence was quite well done, actually, because they added it right at the end as well. So I would say this was another solid chapter. Well, chapter? What am I saying? This was another solid episode, you know. I think this might be my favorite anime this season so far. Just behind, this is my favorite. This is my definite favorite anime this season. I just look forward to it every week. I would say the only thing behind this right now is the slime anime right now. So yeah, very good episode. Looking forward to more.